when we first invented computerized programming for amateur radios. Yaesu introduced a couple of radios that they said cloned, and my husband was given the inspiration of, I wonder if we can get it to talk to a computer. Well, we all know the answer to that. He did. And 31 years later, and over 600 radios later, we are still doing it. We've done it consistently for those 31 years. Now, don't think that we're a mom and pop shop. Not at all. There are 14 of us here that support the programmers and the radios and what it takes for you to be successful with your radio. So, with that, let me show the programmers because they're the real star of the show, and I'll show you some things about them and how to use them and decisions to make about them to hopefully make them easier for you in general. That's what we're after. So you see my screen now that it's my web page, the RT Systems web page. You still there?
Yeah, we're there. I'm just zooming in on the.
Expanding the screen so we can
Go down to the full screen marks and expand it. See the full screen mark on the right hand side of the right there to your right down.
Double arrow.
Down,
Over.
down to the right. Slide. You see the
Oh, I see it.
right there. Get it.
Okay, now we can see it.
There we go.
Okay. We're going to start at our web page.
Right hand side. Out to the
Because-
right. Out to the right.
No,
Right there. Get
it says exit. Exit.
Oh,
Hold on.
It's okay.
You go ahead. Go ahead.
never mind. We're good.
Go ahead.
Okay. We're going to start at our web page because one of the hardest things, and I consider it the hardest things about computerized radio programming, is getting the right software. Because software is specific to the radio. These radios, one speaks Greek and another one speaks Spanish and another one speaks Hebrew and another one speaks Chinese. And while you think they're all similar because they have transmit and receive frequencies and tones and that's all you need, they consider themselves very unique and they will only talk to one of their own. So that's the hardest thing, and that's why that's the main thing on my page. It's radio specific, by manufacturer, then model. But I know that the TYT 9800 radio was involved just a few days ago. And so let's go to that one. The 9800. 9800. And 9800D here. I at least have the number. And here it says specifically that it won't work with the TY Tech, although it's got a TY in it, and it's got a TH9800 in it. They don't work together, which makes this.
Ma'am, may I interrupt and ask one question?
One second.
I just
It's
want to ask her, does it support a Mac also?
Oh, hold on. Let me get you.
Just ask her.
Okay, go.
I just want to ask you, will Macintosh work with this as well? I don't have a PC, I have a Mac.
Okay, let's go to my knowledge base. Let's go
that's all I want.
Hang on a second. I'll show you. So
Okay.
you'll know.
I'm watching.
RT programmers for Mac OS. This isn't going to look real pretty here because I come in it and through the wrong way. I talk about which operating systems on the Mac that it works with. And then I have a list of all my programmers that work with the Mac as well as with Windows. They are a separate
But not
program.
TYT.
I have 3
Just tell her,
TYT
Frank,
models. I just don't happen
Okay.
to have the 9800. These are separate
Okay.
development. And when we can, as we can, with the personnel that we have, we develop for the other radios. So,
Okay.
or I don't know if the 9800 is in development and I've just not seen it yet, but these are the ones you can always check this list and see if what you're looking for is here. or on my website, you can go into the product and look right down here. And if there's a Mac version, there will be Mac available here to choose from. Okay.
All right, thank you.
So notice this one has got a little caret after the name of it. That goes with this setup details down here, because TYT decided to make this even a little bit harder. When you're running the setup, you're going to be given two choices, because in 2025, they changed that radio. They changed it from being a quad band radio to being a dual band radio. And that was enough of a change that the old ones won't talk to the new ones, the old program won't talk to the new ones, and vice versa. If ever you see this in one of our installers, check them both. If you don't have enough information to truly decide, and we don't have a lot of room here to tell you much about it, install them both. They will not interfere with each other. And then you can try them both. One may work, the other won't. One might work marginally and the other works better. Lots of things like that. But then you've got them both to work with. And then, like I said, the TY Tech, go back down here, the TY Tech, if I could spell, I could find it. And even though it is a TH9800, it's not the same as the other two. Believe me, if it were, I would market it with the other two. It's hard enough to keep up with these and keep y'all directed to where you need to go. So I'm going to pile them together as much as I can, as long as there's enough similarity in numbers and cables to make it a logical combination. Okay, so that's one thing about the web page and with finding the right software. Hopefully that'll help when you're looking the next time. So let's look at the programmer and see what you can do with it. And you see here, I know this is really small, but here's the 9800 V2, here's the 9800T, which is the TYT radio, and here's the 9800. Like I said, they will all install independently of each other. So this is the newest 9800. And when you open to a new untitled file, that's one of the beauties of the RT System software. Once you have done the initial communications, get data from radio on a fresh install of the programmer, you don't have to do it again for that computer unless you do a firmware update on that radio or you do a modification to that radio. Then you'll need to do a get data from again. But other than that, you can do file new all you want, have a file for home, a file for Canada when you're going there, and a file for Florida when you're going out there. And then they'd all be independent of each other. The options you see on this screen are memory channel options. They can be changed. How many does this have? 1,000 times to for all the 1,000 memory channels. All programmers also have radio menu settings, and these are settings. This one works with DTMF, 2-tone, and 5-tone. These are signaling settings, but these are things you set up once and you don't set them up again, but you may not use these very much in this radio. What you're looking for in this radio are these hyper memory settings, which are, it's coming, it's a big screen. This is like working with children. There we go. You never know when it's going to misbehave. A, B, C, D, E, F. If you look at the face of the radio, you've got all of those buttons around the face of the radio. And what this does is it lets you set up left and right, being in VFO or memory or on the home channel. You can do that independently 6 times. And then notice there's a memory channel down here. I could push one button to go to a different pair of memory channels that I'm going to use for Saturday's parade. Now, instead of having to figure out how to get to that memory channel from the face of my radio, I just push the E button and I'm on those two channels. Everything else is still available, but it's a shortcut. It's a one-touch move to get you there. Increase your squelch. There are a lot of little touch-up things you can do here, and you can set them independently for all 6 of these, which makes this radio a really nice radio to work with because you can customize it for where you are, where you're going, or what you're doing. These are hyper memories. There are probably a half dozen radios on the market today that do
Now
hyper
connected
memories.
to Dominic's S23.
Another question I can answer for you?
Any questions?
We won't
No
do that again.
questions.
Okay. Okay. So, how do I get frequencies in here? What's important? Somebody hands you a list of frequencies for your area, and it's got 5, 6, 10 entries on it. Type them in. Start with the receive frequency for the radio is the output frequency of the repeater. It is the published frequency of the repeater. Notice the programmer automatically calculates your transmit frequency based on a standard offset and a band plan. 146.94 in the band plan that we use would be a minus. If it's not, no big deal. Just pull it down, tell it it's a plus, and it recalculates for you just that quick and easily. The only other thing that's important, if you want to put a name on it, it's up to you. Show name if you want that name on the display, but then tone. Tone is critical for operations on most repeaters these days. But notice I have all 4 of these columns that are grayed out. Won't let me do anything with them. These are bulbs in a lamp that are not turned on. They are just there to satisfy the brain of the radio. Radio's not using them. You don't need to worry about them. Now, when I flip the switch and turn it on, and I have complete write-ups in my knowledge base of what all these tone modes are, but the one that you should choose most often if you don't know is tone. Tone gets you into the repeater with the right CTCSS value and does not block anything coming back to your radio. If you set it up on tone squelch and you don't set it up right, you will hear nothing. You will see activity across the face of the radio, but you won't hear it because your radio is not letting the signal through. So if you're ever not sure, just use tone. These are both analog tones or analog controls. DCS is the same thing, but it's a square wave. The only reason you would use one or the other would be based on the information you're given. If your value is not in the CTCSS list, check the DCS list. If it's there, then you need to use DCS. RX is the one that comes back to your radio. The main one is the one that goes out to the repeater. Okay? None just turns them all off no matter what the values are. So that's for putting, I can put 440 in here and other frequencies that this radio uses. That gets them in one at the time. But what if I'm taking a trip? I don't want to sit there with the repeater book and look them all up along the way or in the new location I'm going to. Let's do file and external data. And I'm going to go right on down to repeater book search because Radio Reference requires a subscription. Repeater Book has a free section. Frequency lists are things like the NOAA weather channels, GMRS channels, FRS channels. There's some marine frequencies in there. They're lists that we maintain. So let's go to Repeater Book. And this area search is free. And I like using the exact area search. 77868 is a zip code in your area. I want to go 25 miles around it, 2 meters in 440 and FM, and tell it okay. These are all the repeaters in your area, aligned by distance. Your near ones are going to be first. Your further ones away are going to be higher up in the list. I can decide down at the bottom here what the name is going to be and what the comment is going to be. I have several options. Okay, I usually put city in both if the name is big enough to handle the city. And now I have two choices. If I'm building a file, I could copy this and paste it right in where I want it. Okay. Or I can just use it to create a new file. And they all just come in ready to go.
Oh. How much is this software?
$25. Just looked it up.
Hmm.
Looked up the website. If I read it correctly. What was $45?
Program, the RP program. If you need the USB cable, what do you?
$25. What's it do?
It programs the radio.
Which radios?
TYT.
The one that
Like HF?
No, you're one you just bought.
Oh. The 9800.
Yes,
I'm sorry, I can't hear that.
you're good. Are you there? Okay.
I was just waiting for y'all to finish your discussion rather than talking over you.
Thank you. We're good.
We're good.
Stella, shut up.
No, you're fine. Other things are much more important than my presentation.
I know, you're good.
Anyway, should you guys seem to have gone to the 9800, which is a grand idea, then you can help each other with the radios. But let's say somebody has a handheld, something like an FT5D. Let me get it open here. There we go. The programmer will always open the last file that you were working in. So if I save this file back here in the TYT and reopen the program from the icon, it will open this file I was working in. But like I said, at any time, file new, and I can have a default file. And there's always a little bit in a default file. There's a little bit in your radio when you buy it. So if you have more than one radio and you work in one of these programmers to get things set up the way you want it, I can just reach over here and I can copy and I can come back over to this Yaesu handheld and I can paste. It matches the likes, it throws out the differences, and it defaults anything it didn't bring with it. So just that quick and easy, I have a file for the FT5D. Just as in the TYT, the FT5D has radio menu settings. Don't ever forget about them. They're important. They are what you use to customize the radio and save you from having to drill into the menu and figure out where things are and have the menu time out on you. And just think how much easier it would be to do a beacon by typing it in rather than by one letter at the time on the face of the radio. Both of them will get the job done, but this tends to be a little bit easier. Okay. He was asking about the RT system software. The RT system software is unique to a radio and is sold, you buy for the radio that you want to program. Cables, we will work with generic cables, or in this case, this one uses an SD card. The program does have COM port setup. If you are using a generic cable, it's your responsibility to find the drivers for that cable and to get it set up properly. I had somebody on a Mac the other day that wanted to do that, and it took him 6 days, I think it was, to finally get the drivers to install on his Mac. It was painful, to say the least. He kept telling us what was going on, and we kept saying, sorry, we don't know the cable or the drivers. So, because we don't, there are too many cables out there. If you are using our cable, number one, the drivers install with the software, and number two, you do not have to set up the COM port. Matter of fact, we advise against it. They're selected wrong too often, and we know our cables. We will go find what we need for this radio. So make it easy on yourself. Communications get data from radio. And it'll tell you exactly what to do right there, where to plug it in. Follow the steps exactly like they are on the screen. Don't get ahead of it, and you'll be successful in getting the job done. Okay, this one's a little bit easier. This is just to plug it in. Make sure you plug it into the right place, turn it on, and click OK. The Chinese radios tend to be that way. I don't know why the Yaesus and Kenwoods are a little more complicated. They just are. We go with them like they are. Okay. So that's a few things about the programmer. We have import and export if you need to share files with somebody that's not on the same computer. If you export from our program and they are importing to our program, it's very much a find the file and next, 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 everything matches. If you're bringing an import from another source, you do not have to make it match the column headers or the order of the headers. During the process, you are given, and here's a step-by-step in the help that goes out with every program, answering your questions about what you're seeing and how you match up the fields, because you know what's in the field. You are smarter than the computer. You know what that information is in the field, and you're just telling the program what's where if it can't match up to the headers you have. We match a lot of things, but we don't have everything in there. It would just take it too long to crunch through. Okay, so, but you got help for it right there. If you get stuck, you are welcome to send us the CSV file or the tab delimited file that you're using. Tell us what program you want it imported into. We will import it, send you a radio data file back that you use with the program, and we do not charge for that service. We'll be more than happy to be the go-between. We'll also do that if you send us a file from your FT5D and tell us your friend wants it in the TH9800. We have all the programs, so we will take it and convert it from one to the other and send it back to you. So those kind of things we're more than happy to help with. Okay. So that's a little about the program. Let's look back at the web page for a minute. You saw my knowledge base and how you could search in that on all kinds of subjects. Or generally things are organized by radio company, by here's cables. But if you search for a topic, even if it comes back on a radio that is not your radio, go ahead and read the article. The programmers are so similar that you may get what you need to move on with what you're working on. How-to videos. all kinds of things from general use to a comparison between the RT Systems program, the Yaesu programmer, and Chirp. It happens to be for the FT70, but you can get a feel for what the differences are other than the fact I'm here today talking to you and you have tech support 6 days a week with the RT Systems programmer. D-Star, DMR, and I'm doing a DMR webinar in about 2 weeks. Y'all are welcome to join. Send an email and we'll get you that link. Okay, all kinds of things here. And then I mentioned cables just a little bit. And yes, I know my cables are a little more expensive, and I promise you, I like inexpensive too, but I like things that work the first time out of the box or that I can get support for. And that's what my cables offer you. Besides offering you, I can come right in here to this cable. And if I look down in the information, it will tell me specifically what radios this cable works for. Okay, I've got a complete product guide that details that information also. Help you keep up with those cables you're collecting because it doesn't take long to get quite a collection. And that's the second thing about radio programming is getting the right cable. Software delivery is by download these days. At any time, you can go to this download link and program or download your email address and the serial number. If you forgot that serial number, this is 6 months later and you're setting up a new computer, forgot my serial number, and the serial numbers registered to you will be sent to this email address. When you buy for Windows, you buy for Windows. When you buy for Mac, you buy for Mac. There is a cross-platform program that you can get the second one for a discounted price when you've bought the first one. Okay, so you see all my manufacturers down through here. We do analog radios like your 9800, we do D-Star, we do Fusion, we do DMR. Okay, we also do remote help. I can connect directly to your computer, do personalized tutoring, or help you get a file straightened out. We're more than happy to offer that. Your success with your radio is what's important to us. Okay, so questions for me at this point. Anything in particular I left out that you'd like to see?
Y'all have any questions?
I think, first of all, I want to say, I think your support is outstanding. And I appreciate very much the attention to detail you pay on the cables. I have several radios that have several copies of RT Systems, and I have not kept good track of my cables, and I'm going to go home and fix that now. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. And the big reason we don't put this is for the FT5D or this is for the 9800 is because I have one cable that probably works with over 100 different radios. Can you imagine all the labels on that cable when I send it out of here? It's just
a back driveway.
Right.
Right. So that's why they're labeled on their hoods. And as I showed you, I have documents and listings here to help you. Besides the fact they're different colors, they're pretty different colors. And that helps a little bit too. Thank you. I appreciate that.
I'd like to say my name is unusual. It's Faber, and I'll be calling you late next week to get some software. Is it you I will be talking to, or is there a sales department, or who do I talk to?
No, sir, you'll be talking to someone who actually doubles in tech support and sales.
Okay.
You might get me. We're a little short-handed right now, and I'm filling in some, but your chances, I'm 1 out of 5. So and I'm last. So
Thank you.
But if you don't get the answers that you're expecting, you're more than welcome to ask for me and tell them I told you to do that through a presentation, and that'll get you through the crowd and to me.
Thank you.
Okay. And I'm going to make it really worth your while. Actually, the end of the week or for several more weeks. Everybody grab a pencil.
We don't have a pencil.
I have a phone.
Okay. Well, this is kind of easy. It's the initials of your club, GCARG 2026, and that's all together, no spaces. So that's GCARG 2026, and that's a coupon for 10% off on my site from now until the 30th of April for the whole month.
GCARG 2026.
Got it.
Right. Uh-huh.
Got it.
Well, they wrote it down.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks.
So we can, we'll be more than happy to help you. You can use the coupon repeatedly. You can tell your friends about it if they want to use it. That would be great. Come on, we have a challenge to see who can use their coupon the most. So anyway,
We're in the middle. We're in the middle of making a comms trailer, and we have TYT 9800 in it. Two of them
two of them. Okay.
for our emergency communication trailer.
Okay. Well, that's wonderful.
Standard.
It's kind of a tough standard as far as the 9800.
Club standard.
Standard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the club owns 4 of the TYTs,
Well,
and
individual deals.
and
Almost.
So-
All our members got.
so that's why.
That's a great idea. Uh-huh. Yep. Okay.
Do
Anything
y'all do
else?
HF radios?
We do quite a few. Let me go back and share my screen again for a minute. Anyone in particular you want to see something about?
Any HF radios y'all want to know about?
Yeah, I'm interested about, Tom, what's the one you told me about?
ICOM 7300 Mark.
ICOM 7300 Mark II.
Okay. When you come onto my site to buy that, the Mark II is separate from the original. They're great big warnings not to use the original on the Mark II. So do be careful. Make sure you get the right one. This one is not quite as impressive when it comes to the memory channels. They just don't give you a whole lot of things to save in memory. I had someone tell me, because I kind of make light of the memory channels, but what he's got programmed in are sets of frequencies that he uses to tune his antenna. So he can very quickly come back to when he wants to tune on a certain band. He's got his frequencies that he wants to do instead of having to turn so far, besides the fact that gets him into that band. So good use for the memory channels, although on HF, I understand them not being used quite as much. But a couple of things about this. We put a frequency in, we've got a frequency in, and I set up filters and split. What I'm doing here, notice how my mouse goes to the double bar, and then I hold my mouse and I pull, and I can make these columns wider. Okay. And so I set up filters and I set up other things. And when I select this and I press Control left mouse click. Now, let me explain why that is arguing with me. It's because I have nothing plugged in right this minute. But if you had your 7300 plugged in right this minute, that would have tuned your radio immediately to that frequency with all the other parameters in that row.
What
So
were those keystrokes?
What was those keystrokes?
Control and left mouse click.
Got it.
Okay. We also have what we call very light remote control. Some things you may need while you're operating. Let me warn you though, if I open the port over here, see this open port? I can't do what I did over here. It is one or the other. The radio can't listen to two things at one time. But if you've opened the port here, you might be adjusting pitch and compression and brightness and other things and not using the send to radio right this minute. So these are here for something you may use immediately while you're operating. Other things in the programmer, I've got the VFO band stack register, how much easier it would be to adjust it here than to adjust on the radio and have to resave that information. And the best thing about it, this is where the settings really come into play. Here we go. All your settings. You can look at them, you can consider them, you can let it sit there for a half an hour if you need to while you go out and find information you need. You can adjust and readjust, and you get your radio just the way you like it. It's transmitting and receiving, and it sounds good, and everything's going well on your antenna and your setup. And now you got to do a reset on your radio. This is $25 worth of insurance, because if you had collected all of this onto the computer, and I would recommend you save that file more than once, just so something doesn't happen to it, you could then hook the radio back up and send it back to the radio and at least not be at ground zero. Okay. It works with I think this one works with a USB A to C. My favorite joke is when we passed 200 programs, I couldn't keep up with who used what. So, so I wrote it
Real
down.
value of that too is because when you change the configuration of the radio for the different digital services or the different voice services that you want, you have to reload a lot of different menu items. And so changing the profile of the radio can be done in the radio, but it would be nice to have all those saved somewhere. So this is really valuable.
You could save them off as this digital profile, that digital profile, another digital profile. Just keep saving separate files. And so when you want to go back to that, you just call up that file and send it back to the radio, and you're done.
There you go.
Uh-huh.
Good deal. Thank
So
you.
you're welcome. Look in the program too for those settings. You might not have to do it on the radio even the first time. It's worth looking. So, and yeah, this one uses a standard USB A to C cable. Nothing special about my cable other than I guarantee it works. But everybody has USB A to Cs at home these days. So all you need is the software. Okay. And all the HFs are very similar when it comes to this.
Oh, thank you.
Okay. Anything else you're curious about? I don't want to run off too quick on you.
Anything else?
No, I'm really happy to hear this. Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Well, you're very welcome, and you guys got
Sorry
the
about the
coupon code.
technical difficulties. We don't use Zoom that often. We usually do Google Meets.
We're good. Thank you though.
But we're good. We're good. I wish I could have seen you, but
I'm sorry.
that's
No,
okay.
We're all
Far better off.
we're all very, very handsome. You just
Now.
We're very good.
Well,
Okay.
thanks again.
Well, you are very welcome, and we're here all week if you have other questions.
All right. Have a good Easter.
Thank you. You too, to all of you. Now, I have recorded this. Would
Okay.
you like that recording?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Because
it
our
will-
other guy tried to go in through Google Meets and listen, but he couldn't hear it.
Okay. It will come
You want to email
to
it to
you.
me?
That's where it'll go. It'll come to you from WeTransfer. If
Okay.
you would, just accept